Welcome back to my channel. This is my first tutorial. I decided for my first tutorial to do a Your Skin But Better. For the tutorial to just do skin basics. Just foundation, a little bit of concealer, that's it. So today, that's the theme, is Your Skin But Better. I'm just gonna start, just what you see here is what I'm gonna do. And then maybe with my next one, I'll do something with eyes. I did a poll, and for every 3 votes, 2 people voted that they wanted tutorials, and 1 person voted that they wanted challenges. So for every 3 videos, I'm gonna do 2 tutorials and 1 challenge. So that's why the first video is a tutorial, my next video will be a tutorial, and then I'll do a challenge. So without any further ado, I'm gonna get into the tutorial on Your Skin But Better. I'm gonna try to show you guys options for drugstore or more affordable options for everything that I show you, and also a little bit of a higher end product. So if you wanna see how to get your skin but better, keep watching. Okay, so jumping right into it, I'm actually only gonna show you guys one foundation. This is the Maybelline Fit Me. I have not actually found a liquid foundation that I like as much as this drugstore foundation. So I'm gonna give you guys a tip about using beauty blenders. I'm gonna strongly suggest you wet your beauty blender. The reason is, think about a sponge. A sponge soaks things up. So if you wet your beauty blender, you're going ahead and putting water into it so that it's not gonna soak up your makeup. My big hesitation about using a beauty blender was I was thinking, I'm spending all this money on liquid foundation. I don't want it to go into my beauty blender. Well, putting water in it is going ahead and taking care of that problem. And I should actually say this is not a beauty blender. That is actually a brand. That's like calling a tissue a Kleenex. This is just from TJ Maxx. You can get them for like $4. A beauty blender is something that's actually like $20. So check out TJ Maxx if you want to try them. You can get packs for like $5. So I'm going to take my wet beauty blender. So to get a base makeup foundation look that just looks like my skin but better, I'm going to use a lot less foundation than I would if I'm doing full glam, or even just in the summer I'm going to use a little less than I normally would, just because of the humidity in the DC area and all the sweating that's going on. And I'm just going to bounce it on my skin. Important tip, always remember, don't stop at your jawline. Always blend down. And when you're buying foundation, don't pick a color that matches your face. Always pick a color that matches your neck. I meant to say at the beginning of this video, I wanted to put out there just really early on what my biggest, I guess, insecurity is, the things that I want to cover up most when I do my makeup. The things that I prefer to cover up the most are, I do struggle with acne. I actually didn't have it that much in high school. It's kind of adult onset for me. I definitely had some in high school, but it got a lot worse as I got older. And then I've kind of already covered it up, but I have some definite discoloration around the corners of my eyes that I don't think is cute. So those are the biggest things. And then I have what I affectionately refer to as swimming pools on my nose. I have, I think, the largest pores in the history of mankind. So those are my 3 kind of, I think, biggest flaws on my face that when I am doing my makeup, the things that I prefer to make sure are covered. Okay, so as you see, that's not full coverage. I'd say that's medium. This is medium coverage. You can still see my imperfections. You can still see my real skin. But we're going for a Your Skin But Better look here. So this is perfect. Now, something that a lot of beginners might not necessarily know, especially if you're not used to doing liquid liquid foundation is that you always, always, always need to set liquid foundation. Even if you're not doing a full glam look or this, that, or the other, you should always be setting liquid foundation. It looks like even on the screen right now, like it kind of looks like I have a highlight on. I don't. In real life, I don't look as shiny. But so if I were to go outside right now in natural sunlight, I'd look shiny. There's always going to be that little bit because it is liquid, so you need to set it. You don't set it with a powder foundation either. I used to make that mistake. It made me look so much more awful. So do yourself a favor and get some setting powder. Even if you're not, you know, super into makeup, there's some inexpensive options. So I do have 2 options to tell you about for that. There's Laura Mercier, which is an expensive option. I think this is in the $35 range. So this is a fancy one. I don't even use this for this step because it's more expensive. I don't think it's worth it to just set my foundation. I more use this for baking, which I'm not even going to talk about in today's video. But then in the more drugstore range, there's ColourPop, no filter setting powder. I am obsessed with this setting powder. You can't actually find it in drugstores, but this is around $6. I think Ulta carries ColourPop. I'm not actually sure. I just won't put it in the video if it's not. But you can get it online, $6 or $8 maybe. An amazing, amazing setting powder for the price. So I'm gonna use this one. I almost always use this one when I'm just setting foundation. And all you're gonna do is you're gonna take a fluffy brush, something like this. You're gonna dip in, choop, choop, choop. Then you're gonna dip into your lid and you're gonna kind of swirl around, tap off excess, and then just lightly go over your face. You're not pushing in too much. And now you should still have some in here. So you're gonna swirl around again, tap, 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 and then lightly go over your face again. Or, you know, another part of your face that you haven't done yet. And repeat. If you run out in your lid, dip in to the main portion of the product again. And just make sure you're actually getting something on here. Now, because of my swimming pools on my nose, I actually end up setting my nose twice. I find that it reduces the look of pores on my nose a little bit. Okay, so see, now I look a little less shiny than I did before I did the setting powder. So it's just one extra step, but I think it goes a long way. I just realized I forgot to talk about primer with you guys. I was so excited to get into it, I forgot to prime. I hope you guys forgive me. I'm just gonna talk to you guys about primer. Because I was so excited to start with you guys. I didn't even prime. Well, while we're on the subject of priming, I was going to say, because it's still hot, when it's this hot, I tend to shy away from the cream primers, and I use more primer waters. The only primer water I actually own is by Smashbox, so I don't have a drugstore version to show you, but I have Smashbox's, just their normal primer water in just their little travel size, and then I also have their collab with Nicole Concealio in coconut. It came in 3 different scents, but I wanted to try the coconut one. I think this was limited edition, but I sure hope not, because I love this. And I'm gonna talk about setting sprays later, but a little hint for you, if you're watching this and you are one of my more beginner followers, a little hack. Primer waters can be used as setting sprays, but setting sprays cannot be used as primers, as primer water. I mean, if there is a setting spray that can be used as a primer, I'm not aware of it, so let me know if I'm wrong about that. But if you're one of my beginners and you are watching this and kind of thinking about things that you want to buy, but you're trying, you know, to keep in budget, I would pick a primer water because it can do both tasks. It would be my recommendation. So had I remembered to prime, I would have primed with, I probably would have gone with coconut because it smells so damn good, in my opinion. So we'll pretend I did that, then I did the foundation, then I did the setting powder. So then what you can do, a lot of these things are going to be optional. Makeup's always optional. You don't need it. You're beautiful anyway. But then we can do concealer. If we're doing a Your Skin But Better, I often don't do concealer because, I don't know, that's more of a glam thing to me, but I wanted to talk about it with you guys. I have two options to talk with you about. Tarte Shape Tape is a huge fave. It's a cult classic among beauty gurus for good reason. It's amazing. I love it. It's definitely my favorite. I think it's more than $20. Worth it if you have that money to spend. It's so, so good. It's not drying. I use it when I do cut creases as well, which is an eye thing. I'll make a video about that. For drugstore, again, I'm going to use ColourPop. I'm going to talk about ColourPop. I think this one also in the $6 to $8 range. Again, it's not actually sold in drugstores. It's just in that kind of dollar range. This is their no filter concealer. I actually got a shade that's too light for me, which is my fault, so I actually don't use it under my eyes that often, but I'll use it in cut creases. Really, really good. The only downside, it is a little dry. Not a downside for me because I'm a little oily in this area, but just something to note if you tend to have dry skin. Would not recommend this for your under eye. So for purposes of this video, I'm going to use the Tarte one. When you see beauty gurus do this online, they put a lot of product on because they're doing full glam. If we're doing Our Skin But Better, I'm just going to do just a few dots. And if we were doing full glam, I'd be putting this in more places. I'm not going to do that today. For under eye, I have another little beauty blender, beauty sponge. This one's also wet. So I'm going to look up as I'm blending this in. And you want to blend it all the way up into the end of your eye and also up your nose a little bit. I don't think tutorials ever specifically say that, and it's embarrassing how long it took me to figure that out. And you also want to blend it over into your temple. I'm just gonna do a light, super light setting, same thing with my little into the lid, also ColourPop. Same deal, you guys are experts at it by now. Okay, so that just lightens my under eyes slightly. And like I told you guys towards the beginning, one of my concerns is the darkness in the sides of my eyes. It's still peeping through a little bit, but it's no big. This is fine for what we're going for today. And then the last thing that we're going to be talking about, for second to last thing, if I don't forget setting spray, that we're going to be talking about for Our Skin But Better is doing a little contour action. So I have contour and bronzing. So I have two options to talk about. The more high-end one is Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. This is another cult classic favorite, also for good reason. It is, ooh, I don't want to blind you guys, absolutely incredible. You have 3 contour colors and then 3 more highlight colors. I obviously live in this more pale vampire area, but this is $40 or more, so this is more of an investment. Absolutely amazing though. And then this isn't really a drugstore option, but I just wanted to show it to you. This is Morphe. I think this one's $25. And then this one comes with, can I just do this? Yes, I can. This one comes with 4 contour colors and then 4 actual highlighters. So Morphe, a little less expensive, not quite drugstore, but wanted to show you both. So if I'm doing My Skin But Better, I'm gonna go with the Morphe. The Kat Von D, even the lightest one, which is a cool tone. I do like that the Kat Von D has a cool tone and a warm tone. Even the cool tone isn't gonna give me quite a My Skin But Better. The Morphe though, I have found that if I kind of mix colored Donut and Literati, it matches my skin tone really well to actually make it look like I have a jawbone. There are no bones in here. This is just flab. So anything I can do to make it look like I was actually born with a jawbone is incredible. So what you're gonna do is, I highly recommend that you acquire an actual contour brush. It looks like this. It is angled like this. You can probably get away with not owning one, but I recommend that you have one because makeup really is like painting. If you are really, really talented, I'm sure you can do it without the right tools, but having the right tools is really, really gonna help you. So this is a contour brush. So I'm gonna dip into Donut and Literati, just lightly, the 2 colors I showed you. And then I'm gonna start kind of at the top of my ear, is always my starting point. And then I'm gonna draw down, and you never want to blend down your face. The reason is that's gonna give you a Maleficent / 5 o'clock shadow look, kind of that sunken, you know, if you're going for, you know, a deathly, you know, dying, decaying person look, that's fine. But we want a lifted, chiseled jaw look. So you're always gonna wanna blend up. So I'm just gonna go shoop, 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 and then blend up just a little. And that's pretty much it. See, those 2 colors together give me just barely any contour, and that is exactly what I want for this My Skin But Better situation. And another thing I'll tell you is, with this angled brush, I was putting it on this side of the brush. So now when I'm gonna do the other side of my face, I'm gonna put the product on this side of my brush, if that makes sense. So it makes your life even easier. So now I have product on this side, so I'm gonna go like this. I also always use the brush to put my sideburns behind my ear. Optional. It's just something I do. But you do, I made a joke about putting my hair behind my ears, but you do want to make sure that you're blending up into your hair. That is a mistake that I used to make, is I would just kind of stop here, and then it left this awkward, you know, like, oh, she has these nice jawbones that end before her ear, and then it totally is giving away that it's makeup, you know. Do kind of make sure that you're blending kind of up into here. We can't let them know that we don't actually have jawbones. It would give away our secrets. And then you can also contour your jawbone. There's contouring nose, there's contouring other things. I won't get into that today. The only other thing I'll briefly mention for our Skin But Better is, I'll just slightly mention bronzing, because I've just grown to think that I look odd if I don't have any bronzing on my forehead. So with a big fluffy brush like this, you don't need a super fancy brush for this as much, as long as you have something that's kind of fluffy. This is a Bare Minerals one. A bronzing product is different than a contour product though. It's analogous to how a highlighter is different from an eyeshadow. It has to do with the intensity. So just dip into your bronzer and just kind of into your hairline, kind of think it's so funny. I can walk out of the house with no makeup, totally, you know, sweatpants, shirt full of cat hair, dog hair, maybe, you know, crusty cheese on it, whatever. Or if I start putting makeup on, I have to have brows, bronzer, contour, lip gloss. Like, there's no, those memes are true. There's no in between. Once I start putting stuff on, I'm like, oh, I look weird without the bronzer though. Oh, I look weird without the brows though. It's totally true. So, okay. So, that's it. I personally would add highlight to this, but for Your Skin But Better, we're gonna stop there. The only other thing I would do if you have it is the setting spray, I remembered. So, for a drugstore, this is actually available in a drugstore, is Milani Make It Last. I think this is less than $10. I got it I got this, I think, over 2 years ago, and I still have this much, and I use it a lot. This is a really good bang for your buck. It says last 16 hours. I don't know about that, but really, really good setting spray for a drugstore. I will for sure be buying more of this when I run out. Has a really nice mist to it. 100% recommend. And then for a fancier setting spray, I have Urban Decay All Nighter. Cult favorite. It is a good setting spray. Okay, so that was the video. That was my first tutorial. Please let me know what you thought. I think for my next one, I'll do something eye-based. Hopefully this was easy for you guys to follow. I know that I have followers that are all over the map as far as ranges and abilities with makeup. If there's anything specific with eyes you want me to do, maybe a cut crease is gonna be too much for the first eye tutorial, but if it's brows or putting on false eyelashes, let me know. And then after that, I'll do a challenge. I think I'm gonna try to come up with my own challenges, which doesn't mean they haven't been done before. I'm just gonna try to come up with it in my own mind. There probably other people have come up with them, but we'll see how that goes. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching my second video and my first tutorial. I really appreciate it. This is My Skin But Better. If you followed along, or if you rewatch this video and follow along later, also please let me know. I would be so honored. It would make me so happy. Or just let me know if you learned anything. That would just be so amazing. It would make my entire week. So thank you so much.